We are live. Hello.
Hello.
It is good to see you again, friends of Al-Kharid.
Oh, that's never going to be not awkward.
No, that's not, definitely. But then again, we kind of took that when we took the name. So, as you can see today, me and Glenn are going to be talking about the RSChronicle League. So, do you want to give an overview, Glenn?
Yes, basically we've had probably 60-ish people sign up so far. What we're going to set up, we've got a top tier of 8 people, a second tier of 16, which is going to be split into two groups of 8, and we're going to do that live draw tonight. And then there's an open tier for everyone else, where at the end of each season, which is 4 weeks long, 4 of those people in the open tier will be promoted into the second tier.
Perfect. So basically, quick rundown of the way it's going to work. There's going to be 4-week seasons, as Glenn mentioned, and then there's going to be a 1 week afterwards to play your playoff matches, which, depending on where you are, is for different reasons. So, for example, at the top of the Elite Division, the top division, the top 4 are going to actually compete in a little mini tournament, 4-man tournament, for the grand prize, which at the minute we have as 50 packs. But it could be, for example, 5th and 6th in the Elite Division will be competing for a place in the Elite Division against people who finish 2nd in the Premier Divisions at the end of the season. So that's what that 1 week's going to be used for. If you're not involved in any playoff matches, you can use it as a week of rest. But it's going to be hopefully very good. I mean, the leagues, the top few leagues have 7 matches to be played within the 4 weeks, which is very feasible, especially considering they're only a few games long.
Yeah, we didn't want to put too much pressure on people to play too many games, because we know people aren't pro, so people have got real lives to live. So.
What's some of them?
Yeah, I don't know.
Real live. So, without any further ado, we're going to move into the Elite Division. So,
may have been spoiled a little bit when we were doing our podcast that didn't turn out to be a podcast because someone didn't save it on Friday.
So, here you can see we have the Elite Division. You can see all the standings on the screen. YX's name is a bit destroyed, but you can still see who we've got. We've got the reigning Legends Invitational champion, Glenn. He's in there.
Yeah.
We have the people that are currently at the top of the ladder, Wolf and Freeb. We've got just all-round good players, to be honest with you.
Yeah, you can't really pick a winner out of that. You could make a case for any of those 8 players to win this league, and also you could also make a case for any of the 8 to be relegated. So I was going to say every season, two out of these 8 will automatically be relegated to the Premier Division, and then the guys who finish 5th and 6th will have a playoff against the second place players in the Premier Division. So there's a lot to fight for all the way through this league.
Yeah, exactly that. So the format for this league, it's going to be basically you can play your games whenever you like. Ideally, we want them spaced out over the 7 weeks. We don't want everyone playing their games within 1 week. And I know, for example, a couple of players have said to me already that we don't want to play our matches too early because of a certain card. It needs a nerf before they really want to get into it. So that's absolutely fine. But we would like adequate progress to be made. So
I think we're looking for, in the first couple of weeks, try and aim for at least 2 or 3 of your matches to have been played.
Exactly.
That's what we're looking for. Because we do want to kind of spread it out, because there are plans to maybe do some highlights or streams of some of the top tier matches. I know Interjection's got some plans. Ryan and myself potentially have got some ideas as well. So
yeah, exactly.
We want some media to use.
Yeah. So the idea with these matches, they have to be either streamed or recorded. Obviously, some people can't stream at good quality. We're not actually asking for that good quality. 480p is definitely feasible. But if you want to just record it locally, that's absolutely fine. As long as we can get sent the video to use then in whatever way we wish. It's also going to help prove the scores. So yeah, other leagues have to send screenshots. This one will use the VoDs. You can also send screenshots, but that is absolutely fine.
One little point as well, because I know Goth asked earlier in the chat, these games in this league structure will be used by Goth for her competitive ELO system that's on the forums.
And Noobcake, thanks for working on that as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, YX says, what if you can't record his match? Well, you better
You'll
hope...
be kicked out of the league.
Yeah, that's it, you're gone. No, hopefully you'll be the only one. Like, I know it's not something to rely on, but at the end of the day, we can help try and get set up to stream at as low as quality as will pass, which you should be able to do.
Yeah, if you have a problem, just message us. As long as the other person can record it and you can verify that that's what happened, then that's not a problem.
Yeah, exactly that. So these games, they're going to be sets of 4 matches. So basically, it's not a best of. You have to play all 4 games. In each match, you can only win with each legend once. But if you were to lose with, say, I was playing Glenn. I'm obviously not in there, but say I was playing Glenn, and the first match he played Aggro Venescula, I played Darkstrike Raptor, and then I win. He can then, I have to change deck because I can't play with my deck again. But Glenn can then change to a different type of Venescula or whatever he wants to, basically. He can literally play whatever he wants as long as he hasn't won with that legend. So you can adapt your decks mid-match as long as the other person's fine with waiting the few minutes it's going to take. You can actually absolutely tech in cards that you know the other person's running. That's the idea. We want to reward the people who can play the best adaptive games rather than the people who can have a deck and win with it all the time.
Yeah, the main reason we're not going to have submitting decks is because the game's so early at the moment. There's going to be balance changes, so we don't want to force people to submit a deck and then it will be absolutely ruined by a nerf. And also, we're going to be seeing new cards. Exactly. And we want to encourage people to maybe experiment, throw in some new cards, some new strategies that will catch people by surprise. Exactly that.
So I think that basically covers it. There's going to be 2 points for a win. If you win the series 3-1 or 4-0, you'll get 2 points. You'll get 1 point for a draw, and you'll get 0 points for a loss. The league will be sorted by points first, predominantly, naturally, and then if, say, Wolf and Glenn were even on points, it then goes down to their match against each other and who won that. If that's also a draw, then it will go down to game difference, and if that's a draw, it then goes down to a tie-break best-of-5 game. It'll be a one-off.
So even if you're 3-0 down, that extra fourth game, where your opponent has to use a fourth deck, where they're potentially not as proficient at, you can capitalise, get 1 game back, and that'll help your game difference.
Exactly that. Exactly. So yeah, you can see the top 8. These are the guys that are going to be going for the first league title, I guess you could call it. And I'm very excited. As you said earlier, this could be won by literally anyone. So
yeah, I can't call it. But we think this is competitive. Let's have a look at the Silver League. No, not Silver League, the Premier Division, and see how competitive that one is.
Right. So on the screen, you can see there is 2 tables for each league, but the players aren't in the tables. This is because we're going to be doing a live draw. FA Cup football style. This is going to be fantastic. As you can all see, there's numbers by the names. So, for example, Bro's number 1, Bundy's number 2. It's been done in alphabetical order. These are the 16 people going to be making up this tier. So, I have in front of me, as you can see and hear, a little cup. And it has inside... Lift the jug. And you can see all the paper. So, I'm going to be drawing random numbers out, so it's going to alternate. I'll draw the first number, it will go in A, and I'll draw the second number, it will go in B, etc, etc, and I'll move them all across so you can see as the divisions get made up.
Can I just make one point? If you can't see your name in this list, or in the top division, and you have signed up, don't worry, you have been placed in the open tier, and all the information, we'll go through that after we've done this draw.
Exactly that. So, are you excited?
Here we go.
Right, I'm going to shake it up. You can see my hand on top of it. My webcam going at about 4 frames per second. Take that up. And the first number we're going to draw... Oh god. I hope I've drawn numbers well.
Do you need me to write these down, by the way?
Number 2. So Bundy will be going in 8. I don't need to because I can just drag the names.
Oh, you can drag them across. Excellent.
Perfect. So there's Bundy going in Division A. Starting it off with a bang. Going into B and not playing against Bundy, it's going to be number 6, Goth Girl. Oh, I'm hoping they two are going in the same league, to be honest with you.
I'm very interested to see how Goth does in this, because no one plays Venescula like she does.
Exactly.
But I've not seen her play many other legends, so it could be interesting.
Next number. It's going to be number... It's number G, or number 9 as it's meant to be. I can't draw 9s, okay? So Musher is going into the same group as Bundy.
Ooh, that's
already difficult. Musher is a great player. He loves playing his annoying decks. So
yeah, speaking of annoying decks, shout out to Tankatine.
Well, yeah, we'll get to him in a minute, I guess. Going to join at Goth in B. You better be good at playing against Venescula, that's for sure. I was trying to make that so I could say their name, but I got the paper stuck in my hands. Number 5. Gammy Grimmy. Gammy Grimmy.
Don't think he's in the chat at the moment.
Interesting player. And we see all the G's going into Division B. That's not a fix at all. Right, so the next one, joining Bundy and Musher in Group A, is going to be... It's number 1. It's Bryo. Jesus Christ, I would not want to be any of these people already.
Group A is already looking ridiculous.
This is a group of death.
Yeah, I don't think he's forgotten to put anyone in there. So.
No. I had 16 pieces of paper, so unless I've said the same number twice, you know. Going in Group B with Goth Girl and Game Grime, it's Freaker Play, number 4.
Ooh.
I mean, I'm saying that these are tough divisions, but...
Yeah, whatever we mix them
it
up,
doesn't really matter.
I mean, it shows how competitive at all levels of the game is. When you look at the Silver League, and I think at one point the top 5 were separated by 1 prestige.
Exactly, and we've got, I think, all of them players actually in this competition.
Yeah.
But joining Bundy, Musher and Bryo, it's going to be number 15.
Zalks, a late entrant.
This is a very late entrant. I don't think he could have been later if he tried.
He was the last person to sign up.
He couldn't have been later if he tried, but... Whoa, this is getting...
He's actually still playing Dungeons and Dragons at the moment, and so is Jaggeris.
We'll tell them the good news. Number 12 is going into Division B. Division B, Premier B.
When you see that borrowed power.
And with oh my god, I've just
legend.
made the text massive, but it's fine. Slocum Seal is joining Goth, Game Grime, and Freak playing Premier B. I don't know. I don't think any of them players are proficient Arianes, so I think he should be safe. Next, joining in Group A. It's number 3. It's D-Bag Adams. Dishbag Adams.
He was
very good player.
Close to getting into the top tier by right.
Yeah, exactly that.
He walked the was it Silver Prestige at one of the seasons?
Yeah.
And he's got straight into the top 10 in gold.
Mm-hmm.
So he's a very strong player.
Very, very good player. Joining Goth, Game Grime, Freak and Slocum Seal. This number, that's meant to be an 8, just so you know. It's Keyshak.
He's been a little bit quiet since the open beta's come around, but he's come up with some interesting decks in closed beta, and I bet he's got a few surprises.
Group A. I know for a fact that Snowy Wolf will want to be put in the same group as Tankatine and Bundy, so I'm hoping this happens. But going to Group A, it's going to be Chili. Have fun, Wes. Have fun.
Good luck, Wes.
Have fun. He was like, I'm not going to give away our exact system of deciding who does when in each league, but let's put it this way, he was one person off going into the open division, so he's got his work cut out from there.
You've got your work cut out to stay in that second tier, Wes. Especially with some of those names. I mean, Zalks in gold, Douchebag Adams, gold top 10, Bryo, gold top 10, Musher right at the top of silver, Bundy
no,
right.
Musher's gold. Musher's gold.
Now.
Yeah, he's in
Everyone
prestige.
there is gold, apart from Bundy, who's like top 3 in silver.
Exactly. This is going to be tough.
Good luck, Wes.
But going into Premier B it's going to be Vitus, and this is for me is a really tough group already. Like seriously, it has three of the best players in this tier. But wow.
Freaker is I think just outside the top 10 because I knocked him out just before I ended my stream. Vitus had to get in there. Vitus is in the top 10. Sockham, he got to the semi-finals or quarter-finals of the Legends Invitational.
Yeah, exactly that, and got put out. So it's gonna be tough either way. We're going into Premier A, joining Bundy Musher, Bryo, Zalks, D-Bag Adams, and Chili is going to be 10 Potty Mouth.
It's a player we've not heard much of, but he's always at the top of silver.
Exactly that. It's I don't know. A
little bit of an unknown
dark
quality.
horse. Dark horse. Right, going into B. It's going to be number 13, Tankotine.
I hate him.
Um,
He's the sole reason I am only 10th on the leaderboard.
Yeah, you raised some interesting decks, though. I don't know, that Group B is stacked.
Yeah, in that Group B, a Goth is definitely a Venescular player and a Venescular specialist. Tankotine, I'd say, is an Arian specialist.
Exactly.
So it's interesting to see how the one deck specialists get on, because they've got to be proficient in other decks.
It's something to consider, I guess. Going into A with the rest of the guys, and the final one, it's number 7.
Jag
she's against her friend in a partner in crime, Zaux, and that's going to be a rivalry to look forward to, I guess.
Looking forward to that one.
Definitely. And obviously, just to clarify, the last number 11, Snowwolf is joining Premier B with Tankotine. I know he's going to love that. So we'll see his reaction.
They've been win trading all weekend.
Exactly. They keep coming against each other and switching positions on the leaderboard. So yeah, that concludes it. But geez, oh my, the groups look tough.
Ridiculous.
If I'm going to be blunt, I think the B is going to be more competitive than A. But either way, I think it's going to be absolutely
Who's your call
amazing.
to win each division?
Right. If I have to make a pick,
yep,
I'm going to go with D-Bag Adams to win A.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna stick with my boy Freaker Nazi Play to win B. I think he's gonna do it.
I'm going with you on B. I'm gonna back Freaker. But A, I'm gonna go for Brio.
You think so?
Yeah, he's
interesting on ladder, that's for sure.
He nearly surprised Wolf in the Legends Invitational, and it's a similar format. So I think he might be good at this.
Right, and the other end of the spectrum, as much as you probably don't want to talk about it.
No.
Who's going down? From A, I think I'm not being mean by any of these people because the talent is actually so high, but I think from what little I know about him is potty mouth. I think he's going to maybe struggle.
That's purely because we don't know much about him.
Exactly. And I think Chile. Shout out for Wes.
Yeah, good luck, Wes.
I think you're going to do well to stay in that division, personally. And from B, whoever goes down, the open division is going to get 10 times harder. Because, Jesus Christ, they're going to have to compete with one of them, two of them players.
Cool that.
I think I'm going to go with Keyshak and Game Grime.
Yeah, you could probably pick any two. Yeah. It's going to be close.
That's exactly what I did. I picked 2 random numbers, and that's what I came out with. So, yeah, thanks very much for joining us for that draw, because that was actually quite fun. I must admit. Right, so...
yeah, just to clarify, so 2 people from each of these divisions will be going down into the open tier, which I think Ryan's got some information about now.
I've got a little bit of information. I haven't prepared a slide for this one, because there's too many people, to be quite honest with you, to put on the slide. But basically, with the open division, you're free to play as many matches as you want, provided you only play each player once. So you could challenge 10 people in the division to a game, or you could challenge 3, or you could challenge 20. It's completely up to you, as long as you can organise matches and tell me about them before you play them. So basically what we want to do is we want you to send us a message an hour before you play with details about when you'll be playing, and then that needs to be off both of you. And then after the match, you need to send us the result with screenshots. From the Premier Divisions, they don't need to be recorded either. They can be streamed or recorded if you want, and a 5-minute delay is advised, because as much as we all trust each other, if it gets a little bit desperate in the end, people can be basically cheats. So yeah, probably put a 5-minute delay on. But yeah, going back to the Premier Divisions, they are also sets of 4, exactly like the Elite Division. Exactly the same rules on Legends, as in you have to change if you win, and you can't play them for the rest of that match. Same point system, same table separating system. Obviously, the only different part is you got 2 going down from each division, the top person from each division would guaranteed go up into the elite division, but the person who finishes second in each division will play against fifth and sixth, randomly generated in a playoff system where the two people who win their games will be in the elite tier. So yeah, I think that about covers all of that. Going back down to the open tier, I believe we have around 35, 36 people in it at the moment.
So there's plenty of options for people to arrange games.
Exactly that. And to arrange the games, overall this is, we actually have a contact sheet set up with people's Discords, their Reddits, their in-game names, and if they want you to contact them by another method, for example, we've got a couple of people who would rather you contact them on Twitter, then we have their handles there as well. That will be published with like a super thread that I can hopefully get stickied on the Reddit about it all. So you can go in there and there'll be a link to the rules. There'll be a link there to the contact sheet. And basically, the idea is for the open tier, especially, you just open. The idea is to organise games with as many people as you can, because it's going to be the people with the most points at the end of the season, that go up. So, it's going to be actually the top 8 will play amongst themselves. Well, basically, first will play 8th, second 7th, third will play 6th, and fourth against 5th. And the 4 winners from them best of 5 games will all go up into the Premier Division. So it's very, very feasible to get out of there.
I mean, if you're in the open tier now, two good seasons, and you're right at the top tier playing the best players, and it's 2 months. That's how quickly you can move up to the top tier. Mm-hmm. And if this kicks off and it gets really popular and we see lots of games being played, there's no reason why we can't expand the divisions or create extra tiers to help more people join up.
I mean, definitely. It's something we were actually I was considering, especially towards the end section of the sign-ups. When we started actually realising, hold on, we've got nearly like 60-odd people here. We could have actually added a third tier of people in, but then the tier below that, the open tier, wouldn't have had nearly enough players to actually have a viable league. So for now, we're leaving it like this. If this gets more interest and the open tier gets like a lot more full, as Glenn said, we've got room for expansion. We've got room for adding more divisions. Nothing set in stone. But for the first season, this is what we're going with.
Yeah. One shout out to if anyone's got friends who would be interested and they haven't signed up yet, sign-ups aren't closed. You can join up the open tier at any point during the season.
The only point you can't is in the playoffs at the end.
Yes.
There is absolutely no point because you wouldn't be able to play any games. But as long as you want to play in the open tier, there's no reason you can't message me 3 weeks in. If you think you can organise enough games to have a decent season in the last week, then go for it. I mean, I would advise you starting from week 1, but you can absolutely go for it. The open tier games are best of 3. They're best of 3. So if you win 2-0, you win 2-0, end of. You have to screenshot the results. I want just to clarify on the whole thing, I want entire screenshots of the entire window. So it will include the inbuilt clock on Chronicle, as well as I want to see who your legend was against their legend, and I want to see the result.
We want screenshots from both people as well.
Yeah, exactly that. If you lose, please don't be salty and just, I'm not sending screenshots. Please go by the tournament fair play kind of rules. Anyone we find that isn't submitting screenshots just purely because they're losing, they will face punishment. At the end of the day, we can do almost exactly what we want. So if we feel like you're making the tournament harder for other people to have fun, and you're actually not being very sportsmanlike, then obviously we'll punish you.
So, tomorrow midday is when people can start playing their games. We're going to release fixture lists, so you can, just in case you're not sure, you can see all the games you need to arrange. Mm-hmm. You can do them in any order. We do advise that you try and spread them out. Try and aim for a couple of games a week, because as I say, we've got some plans for weekly shows. Maybe there's things in the pipeline.
Exactly.
So yeah, start arranging your games from midday tomorrow, and then you've got 4 weeks. So that takes us up until we'll go. I think it's Sunday. 1, 2, 3, 4. The 22nd.
Counting with Glenn.
Yes. No, Sunday the 15th.
Sunday the 15th is when the leagues will expire, and that's when we'll start with the playoffs. We'll message the people involved in playoffs, so you don't really have to worry too much about that. But there is going to be tournament pages set up. There's going to be places to view the results of the people in your division. That's part of the fun. I mean, if you want to log on one day and find out that Glenn absolutely trashed Wolf 4-0, then that would be absolutely amazing to be able to see. And that's definitely something we're working to set up. For now, I think we've got one way of doing it, but hopefully working with a couple of people in the community to get that actually fully customizable, let's say.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Keep an eye out on the Reddit. We're going to post fixture lists. We'll post another link to the rules. We'll post a link to the contact details for everyone, so you know how to get in touch and arrange your games. So they'll be all over the Reddit. There'll be people who'll be in the Discord. I'll put a link on the forum as well. So there'll be information everywhere for you to find.
Exactly right. So we're going to move some questions from the chat. That's why you see me moving across my camera. So the first one we've got from WayX is, so I can decide to play. It's not really a question, but so we can decide to play all my matches after the Virago nerf. Now, while this could potentially be a thing, if 2 weeks passes and you haven't played any games, I'll need to know why. And if it's purely because a card hasn't been nerfed, I'm not being funny. That is not acceptable. Other people are having to play with that exact same condition. So if you haven't played with any games within 2 weeks, you can expect to face sanctions. That can be from a point being deducted to 5 points being deducted to... Do you know what I mean? I can literally sanction you however I want.
It depends what happens. The scope's open, so...
Exactly that. Everyone has the same
try and arrange
conditions.
a game. At the end of the day, this although it is going to be competitive, we've done this because it's fun.
Exactly
At the moment,
that.
we know the rank system is not the most rewarding. I think this is a completely different format. Hopefully, it'll be very enjoyable for everyone involved.
I've got another question. Why is my name in blue and yours in red?
Because red's better than blue.
There's your answer. What else do we have?
I think Snowy had a couple of questions earlier.
Yeah, from the start. I'm just scrolling up now. Professionalism. Do you have to use 4 different legends? No. You have to use 4 different legends if you win the first 3 games. So,
Yes.
if you lose 4-0, you could use the same legend 4 times.
Although that would be a very questionable decision.
If you've
lost
lost
the same legend 3 times, I might change.
Probably change. There's something wrong there. But yeah, you have to be versed in 4 legends, and you have to have decks for 4 legends. Otherwise, I mean, if you only have 3 and you only want to play 3 and you win the first 3 matches, you're automatically going to forfeit the next one. So if I were you, I'd get...
Queue up with a basic deck.
If you can win with a basic deck, props to you. But I think that it's probably best to get at least a decent deck as a 4th one, just in case you go 3-0 up. I mean, if you're 3-0 up, you're not really going to be worried about that last leg too much, because you've already won the game. For the people in the open tier, obviously you only need to win with 2 decks. So as long as you're very confident with 2 decks, that's all you have to do. But if you did get promoted, then you have to expand that to 4, and that's absolutely fine.
Got one question from Snowy. How do you get from the Premier Division to the Elite Division? Basically, the top 2, the top player in each of the groups that we've drawn tonight will automatically get promoted. The guys who finish second, or girls, who finish second in each of the groups, will play off against either the 5th or the 6th place finisher in the top division.
In a best of 5.
Best of 5, and
Same
the winner
rules
of those
about
2.
legends.
Yep, the winners of those 2 games will earn their place in the Elite Division again. So there could be anywhere between 2 and 4 people changing between the Premier and the Elite.
Exactly that. And after every season, the Elite Divisions will be... not the Elite Division, sorry, the Premier Divisions will be drawn again. Exactly the same as we've done here, because I think that's going to give it most fun, so you don't get stuck with the same people in your league every single time. Naturally, if you're getting 4 go up and 4 go down, that's half of the people in that tier change. So of course we want to reseed it and redraw it like we have tonight. So that's something to look forward to, I guess, at the end of every season.
Yeah.
He also said earlier on, why did we choose to allow people to edit their decks? I think we covered this a little bit. New cards and balance changes. We want you to be able to change your deck. Even if you play against someone and say you beat them, but you know they're playing a certain deck, you can also then tech one of your other decks to counter that. And if you think that's a good idea, then go for it. As long as your opponent isn't going to be all salty because you're taking a few minutes between games, But yeah, by all means, tech your deck. So it might be clever to maybe change decks if you lose. If you're really confident in a deck, play it again, but it might be teched against. Do you know what I mean? This is the idea. It's meant to be the best players, not the I can play a single deck and climb ladder. So that's not a shot at anyone, but it can happen.
Tank a team.
Well.
What
else we got? What else have we got?
Yeah, if you win 3-0 with 3 decks, you still got to do the 4th. Yes, you have to play the 4th game with obviously with the 4th legend. So.
Lemony Tang asked earlier, where do we see competitive Chronicle in 1 year? I think it would be quite big, personally.
I hope so.
I definitely.
I mean, I hope this is just the start. I mean, we've done this without any plug from Jagex. I know they are aware of it happening, but they've not pushed it. We've completely done this ourselves, and with the help of the community, publishing it everywhere. And just with that, we've got over 60 people in this.
Exactly.
So just imagine if we get.
Hopefully, it can only get bigger.
If we have a good couple of first seasons, see how it goes. Maybe Jagex will want to get involved. Maybe not. We'll see.
Exactly that. So, can I just point out to anyone that hasn't noticed, Glenn's head is actually on Ariane's body, and it's really disturbing. Go down a bit so you can just see your head. Perfect. Have we got any more questions? Last couple of minutes just to get questions in. Anything about what you need to do, if you like, even specific questions, that's fine. But yeah, you can see it being discussed. Like goal difference in football is actually quite big.
Yeah, YX, he lost 3 times with his Ozone deck in the Invitational. Yep, and I thank you for that.
Glenn's heaving bosom. So
Please
that's
don't
something.
talk about my heaving bosom.
But yeah, it looks like I think
that's pretty much it. Yeah, if there's any questions or anything, you can. We've got our Friends of Al-Kharid Twitter handle. Send them that way, or to myself or Ryan's. Mine's Glenn1Wolves. Ryan, what's yours?
on Reddit.
No, on Twitter.
On Twitter, I'm at this is Ryan Nil, same as my Twitch. But the best way for you to contact us, honestly, is going to be Discord, because it's instant messaging and it's not that difficult to check. So you can find us both on Discord. I'm Ryan N. He's obviously Glenn.
If you're not on the Discord already, head to the subreddit. On the right hand side, there's a link. That'll take you right into the Discord. Just sign up with a username, and you can come and start chatting.
Exactly.
We're getting more and more people in there every day.
Yep, definitely. The one last point I wanted to make was Cricket asked me why am I not in, purely because it's going to take a lot of time to organise all this and make sure everyone's playing by the rules and stuff like that. And also, I've got to organise the podcast, which you can see on the screen, is every Friday at 7 PM. So I've got to collect all the information and stuff for that.
And it will also be available on YouTube from next week.
Yeah, and so will this video, in fact. So that's great. But yeah, I've got to sort everything out for that. And I'm also at university, and I'm trying to take this next period seriously because it's my exam period, and I need to get in next year. So that's why I'm not in it. I may be joining in the future if the first season goes quite well and I found that I'm actually free more than I thought, then I'll probably join, and I'll start in the open division and hopefully crush some noobs and put them off playing forever.
There's some very good players in that open tier, so good luck.
Well, yeah. So thanks, I guess, for joining us, guys.
Yeah, thank you very much.
This has been the Friends of Al-Kharid podcast, I guess, but casting for the Chronicle Leagues. You can catch us here on this coming Friday at 7 PM BST. We're going to have, I can reveal one guest for now. I think we're going to have Interjection back on. I know he's keen to, and I know we're keen to have him back on. But if you guys have got any ideas of who else we should bring on, if you want to come on yourself, message me on Discord. It's going to be on Friday, so if you can't make 7 PM BST, obviously don't message me. That's quite a simple thing. And if I wait 2 seasons, I can go against Glenn in the open tier. That is correct, Musha.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Hang on. Last question. Tank T said, if now High Gold, who's not signed up, will they start from the bottom or get seeded in higher? They will start from the very bottom.
Yes,
Anyone who signs up from here, Anyone who signs up from here will be put in the Open Division. At the end of the day, we gave enough notice to people. We've messaged, even inboxed some of the better players that haven't signed up. And yeah, if they're not signed up at this point, it's their own fault. And they have to earn their right to be in the top, so yeah.
Yep, I think that's everything.
Definitely. So thanks very much for coming, guys, and we'll catch you next time.
Yep, we'll see you on Friday.
Peace.